two schools.
Well, I think the reality is this meeting on the 6th, which I plan to go to just to be
Then we finished over at the high school on the weekend.
us because, well, we look stupid. Mills and Casper and Van Nuys are stupid because they're not going to get any of that. This isn't just put my hand out and say, oh, you've got money, give me some. It's supposed to say,
Yeah, because
your
I talked to them
business
intermediately there all
will
day.
impact our town this much. And it's not legitimate. And Jim Willis and John Men's Corp.
Yes.
Yeah, we started today.
And
Well, you know that.
with Douglas
I'll be
all
back on
come
Saturday.
said,
Staff is.
this is an embarrassment.
Get here on Sunday. I'm leaving up there on Saturday.
And it is.
I was just kind of catching up on
You can
trying to
see
get a
that
new
like a bunch of
computer.
idiots
I'm having trouble with
putting
this
stuff
too. I
that we
don't
can't
stop letting me
prove
open Outlook.
the impact. I mean, the numbers are okay when you look at the
I follow you. I
got it
always
now.
fly either
Formulas.
business class or first class.
I just had to restart.
But how do you
So I can get
legitimize?
my back.
Yeah, I went there on my
A lot
laptop.
of them are saying that all of this
They blocked my.
extra law
They
enforcement.
blocked everything.
I mean,
A lot of the teachers, a lot of us had blocked. You could get our. And then my the last 4 days, my phone was they blocked
we're
me.
not much in the way of police impact. We might less traffic.
This thing is
in there
buzzing.
occasionally, because that's the only way that's coming in.
Right. Yeah.
So
I was wondering.
You can do it for me.
What is the impact going to be?
Okay.
the county itself, and I think there are two legitimate things. The fact that they might be
I'm just heartbroken.
a fire truck up there. And they're saying they got the truck. They just want to.
You want me to call her for it?
Yeah, please do.
And
Okay.
communications,
Because I'm going to bring something up to the council about her and the amount of
cellular
money they get
communication is bad. They're so wonderful.
or
So
at least under two pieces of two lots that belong to the town.
Really?
I think it's time to break that lease with him.
I don't know where that came from.
okay.
In that little building.
Well, first of all, because it's up by his place, he abstained from any discussion or any voting. Second of all, yeah, he lives up there, and that would positively
Dollar for
impact
25 years at a time.
Oh my gosh.
Has
But
over 50
it
years. They're on the
positively
third lease.
impacts
We can
everybody
break
up
it at
there,
any time. So I think it's
including
no, I
you.
think it's time to. I think it's time to put an end to it. Forgot. Tammy's supposed to take this out for us.
That one picture you see that's going around on the internet about all the
Well.
employees they're burying in the county and they're not.
Let's hit it.
I hate that.
I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started here, I'd just like to introduce to all of you, John Funk is our new Public Works Director.
Hi, John.
Welcome aboard
He's been with us for
in your official new position.
He's been with us for a while. And you want to go ahead and do yours?
Yeah, I just wanted to make it official that we have chosen Shane Pierce as our SRO.
Hey, Shane.
So he's starting on Monday with the schools, but we work with the school district on kind of making a decision and things like that based on training experience, those kinds of things. But I selected Shane to be our inaugural, I don't know, how long has it been since we had an SRO in the school?
A long time,
It
man.
was way before my time.
Well, it
Yeah.
was back when Julie
Not-
Wickett was still with us. She was
She was a part-time.
part-time. That
Yeah.
Other than that, we've never had a full-time.
Yeah,
Never
it's
have.
been quite some time, so yeah, I'm making that official, but I just wanted to do that in front of you guys, swap out his badge that actually says SRO on it in case he forgets. So if you find him wandering around during the day, now you guys know where to stick it. So.
Congratulations.
Hey, Shane. Way to go.
Very important position, sir.
Okay, we'll go on. I don't believe there's any additions or deletions this evening. Is there a motion to approve the April 22nd, 2024 council meeting and the April 24th budget works? No, it wasn't a budget. It was just a work session.
I move we approve the 2024 April council meeting and the April 24 budget session as presented.
And moved and seconded.
I'll second.
Okay, now we're second. Any discussion? I'm going to move this along.
That's right.
We can tell.
Hearing none, I'll call for vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Reports. Councilwoman Nye.
Gosh, I get to go first, John, didn't you?
Yeah, John's not here. this
Okay,
evening.
all right. First, I saw this in the paper. I don't know if anyone was aware of this. Bruce said he was, that a solar-powered car had passed through Glen Rock. It looks interesting, and I hope maybe someone saw this beast go through town. That's definitely different. Now, the water park. Chevy. The water park presents a clean, inviting atmosphere for your visitors. Your dinosaur ride adds a unique splash of excitement, particularly when viewed through the eyes of a child. It is a great addition to the park. And the wall around the north side, wow! The finish on that wall is very attractive, and love that row of green trees, well, at least green for now, growing in front of the wall. It really looks good. Congratulations for doing a good job down there this summer. All right, now we're back to the landfill, and Lyle's got the dump on me here. The greens area up below the landfill is having an amazing summer. Probably the one greatest improvement is the fence to keep the critters from destroying the gardens. They are incorporating supplemental water to the gardens and are experiencing much growing success with extensive plans for extending the growing surface for both annual and perennial food sources. They would like to start a berry patch, a cherry tree area, and in general incorporate more trees. 3 other interesting features is the growing ring. This one right there is going to be the beehive. Danny's going to carve that up and create it into a natural habitat for pollinators. He has 3 of them up there, which I think is a great idea. There is a root cellar up there for long-term storage, a very fascinating-looking little place. Everything on that is made from natural materials. There's not a screw in the whole thing. They've put it together just using green wood and an interesting design. And soon to be, and also then the growing rings that they have up there. That is really pretty, where they've established these large rings with stuff growing inside it. They're doing a fantastic job up there. Their crops look really good this year, and that's thanks to the fence, and they're hoping to have more and more food production up there. I would encourage people to stop by and check out this food growing project. It's quite interesting. And they are still giving away firewood cut to length and split. They had 2 cords last Thursday, and all were gone by Friday. Stop by and visit with the crew and check on the firewood situation. They do not advertise when they have this free firewood, as we do not wish to have Casper lined up down to the bridge to access this service. We've have a busy August ahead with elections, state fair, and the sheep rendezvous. And just one quick, very special happening is coming soon. Mr. Mayor is going to become a great-grandfather. Congratulations, Bruce.
Oh, I'm already going. It's my great-grandson, though.
But that's very, very special. And then I just had 3 quick questions left over from last month. Have we received the directions for the exercise equipment along the walking path? Do we know what's going on with those?
I haven't
Haven't found them yet?
yet.
Okay. And then has a site been designated for the bronze soldier statue memorial?
Not yet. No, we haven't met with. We'll be needing to meet.
I wanted to go to that meeting the 6th, and I couldn't. I didn't know if they decided anything.
I don't know if they did or not. I didn't.
They did recommend 2 sites.
Right.
Well, they've had 2 places. I
One
could.
was this corner, right?
And
I
this
think
one.
so. Yeah.
So we have a choice.
Maybe we can
I
meet
think
with
it's a
them
while
again. I'd
before
like
the thing
to.
gets built, so we can come up with an idea where we're going to place it.
And then one other quick question. What is happening with the removal of the tree just west of 715 West Fur on property owned by the town? Are we going to...
It's scheduled for Keith Fulton to cut it down. It's in his schedule. He should be with it before too long. He's got those trees to cut and all the trees to cut down on the Miller property also. It could be, I'm going to feel it's going to be more towards the end of this month. It could be as close as the first part of September, but he's been instructed to cut it down.
So it's on the schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's it.
Councilman Kincaid.
Yeah, I just wanted the second on the town square with the dinosaurs. The kids really look forward to that. And the finished job on the wall was amazing. Everybody's commented on that.
Great job.
And Margaret, I've been going up to the land, up to the
Good.
the grass area almost every day for the school, and I just watched everything. I didn't know how that was going to work growing up there in that sand and stuff, but I'll tell you what, the
Water.
garden looks great.
Water's been the key to that.
Yeah.
You cannot grow stuff in Wyoming without water.
I know.
And
Lots of water.
They finally figured that out, and they're up and growing now.
Okay. I don't have any other reports.
What's their water source?
Right now, they're using a water truck. to
Yeah, they're
haul
hauling it
water,
in.
And they're considering whether to buy a water truck and keep that as their source, or whether to try to put up a tank system. So that's going to be tossed around as to what and how. But they definitely have to have water up there.
No other reports.
Okay. Councilwoman Cohen.
The end of July, I attended the Settler Wind Farm meeting with the county commissioners and was present while they were tossing all that around and
That
listening
was
to
for
the
getting the
president.
county permit. That's for them to approve the county permit
That
process.
was the first part of that, yeah. And for there were about 6 or 8 people from Settler Wind Farm there.
Yes.
Just trying to be very pleasant. So, anyway, I was there for us for that, and that's all.
Okay. Tammy, clerk. Sorry.
I'm not the treasurer. I just want to repeat what everybody else has said. Welcome to John. We couldn't be more excited to have that position filled. I think he's going to be great, and the crew has a lot of confidence in him as well. I wanted to say thank you to Chevy. She has been working. We may have to invest in setting up a bedroom or something for her over Town Square because she is there all the time. And my grandson had a birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and she was wonderful getting out the dinosaur, and Cadence did such a great job with the kids. I just appreciate so much the work she's been doing over there, so thank you. And I also was at the landfill for the Greens Department this weekend, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
It is
It's
amazing.
so nice over there.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. They hope to have a lot of food growing up there in the future for people to access for free wood and free food.
Yes.
It's a good project. We've got a very good person up there that's very knowledgeable of how to develop these things and has a lot of enthusiasm for it. So we'll pay him whatever we need to keep him.
Okay. John Funk, Public Works Director.
I don't have a lot to comment on yet because I'm still new to the position. One thing I did want to mention is I wanted to make sure that Bill got some recognition for stepping up and taking care of everything he did before I was hired for this position, because he did a phenomenal job and he had help from the rest of the crew in our.
Yeah, there
Rest
should
of
be
our
recognition
crew.
for all your crew stepping up
Yeah.
and taking care of things.
They've all done
a little
an
bit.
excellent job, so I'm just working on trying to get settled in the position and figure out what I need to get done.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. We know you'll do well.
Ready?
Town Square.
Town Square.
Yeah, Charleston, Town Square.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It has been very busy. Events have been going really well. Movies have been going really well. The dinosaurs have been going amazingly well. Been keeping us very, very busy with the stationary ride, the 2 hand puppets we have, the 2 scooters we have, and also the large dinosaur costume, which is named Princess now. So she's very popular. She is a 2-person job, so it takes me to get in it, and it also takes someone who's over about 6 foot to unhook me easily. So we bring her out a lot. She's a lot more popular than I thought she'd ever be. When I first got her, I thought I would just bring her out every once in a while, maybe Deer Creek days and a parade, but it's becoming almost an every other day adventure to bring her out, and people have been requesting, and I tell them that Princess has to do paperwork as well. So, but I bring her out as much as possible. She's extremely very, very popular, and the dinosaurs have went over extremely well. We've been getting a lot more traffic at the square, a lot more comments. I know people have come from Casper and Douglas and Sheridan, and there's people from Iowa and Kentucky and Indiana who've stopped here this summer as well and commented and seen the rides, and it's just becoming a more hot spot, a lot more popular. Definitely getting the recognition that place deserves. So we do have our last movie this week and also our last concert series this week.
Concert series was wild. It was good.
Oh my gosh.
Been a great year.
I wish that one band didn't cancel.
Yeah, so we are looking, so we did have a band, Ragdolls did cancel. Their lead guitarist got COVID, but we worked very hard and brought another band in, so it was replaced. I cannot be a rock star, honestly, at 44 anymore. 4 hours of sleep in 2 days just doesn't work for me. But we got it done. We got it replaced with a band that came out from Spokane, Washington. So they flew in, and I picked them up and brought them here and then drove them back to the airport. So it was doable, but definitely look in to see if we can rebook Ragdolls. Once the dust settles a little bit, I will be working on that whole process over again and planning for next year.
Very good. Very, very good.
Lyle, Public Building Inspector.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Been going pretty good. Building permits are been pretty steady. Inspections for sure. Other than that, not a lot to report. We'll have a little bit to talk about here later on. And that's all I got.
Okay. Calder, Chief of Police.
Evening, Mayor and Council. It's awkward to see you from this side of the room, but making it
You
work.
guys kind of shuffled around.
Yeah. Hey, I just sat where my name tag was, which is fine. Anyway, got 2 new vehicles on the ground officially, so I'm going to be going to pick those up tomorrow. Super excited about that, except that I don't know what the process is going to look like now for scheduling the actual upfitting of the vehicles. So if you see those sitting in the parking lot, I promise it's not a used car lot. We're just waiting for scheduling. A couple weeks ago, we had Hogfest, really uneventful. It was a good event. Seemed like it went off without a hitch. I think we only had maybe 2 calls out there through the weekend, so that was nice for sure. The following weekend, we had, I am going to butcher this, but the Society for Creative Anachronism, or the LARPers. I don't know if anyone's ever attended their event out there over the weekend, but they also had that. That was, again, uneventful, or a great event, but uneventful on our end, I suppose. I shouldn't say uneventful. Working to see what we have available. Douglas PD has again requested this year that we send some assistance over for the state fair. See what I have, but still working on trying to make that work schedule-wise to make sure we're covered here and everything. And then they again invited me to help out with the state fair parade, so I'm hoping to unveil our new SRO vehicle at the State Fair Parade if it's completed on time. So if you get the chance to come over, I'm pretty excited for that, for everybody to get to see that one in action. But it's still up in the air as to whether it'll be done yet. So next week, got some training for the schools with their active shooter stuff that we're going to go help out with. And then next weekend, we'll be taking part of some of our own active shooter training in the school. That's pretty much all I've got.
Okay.
Coulter, did you get any kind of overflow from the how many ever thousands of people went flocking into Gillette?
You know, we didn't really see a whole lot of influx. I was actually in Denver over the weekend, and on the way home, I passed a number of their vans headed to the airport and such, and I was in Douglas last week sometime, and they had a whole lot of hotels filled with individuals for that event due to overflow, but we didn't see, I'm not even sure. I think we did have one traffic stop on a group of them that were headed that way, but...
Great.
Yeah.
May I go back and ask Chevy a quick question? Are you going to take the dinosaur down to the State Fair Parade?
Oh, maybe not this year. So she is about 80 pounds on my back. I would love to, but I don't know if I can make it an hour with her. Throughout the weeks that I've been working with her and putting her on about every day, I got up to about 30 minutes that I can stand to be in her. But yeah, maybe next year when I start working on her. She's just really heavy and really big. But I'll eventually get there. I did not realize it would be this much weight to carry around. And then, yeah.
You need to get some volunteers to help.
I was going to say we need a.
Stick Lyle in there.
He's tall.
You know, I would have
Roy will take the other end.
if I could find an easier way where I wouldn't have to walk that whole section.
Something you could ride on a
Nice to be on a
platform.
float.
Yeah, a float would probably be better. I would
Still-
I'd have to try because even if it hits the brakes, I don't know how I'd get back up.
Dinosaur fall off.
It would, yeah. But no, I'd eventually, and maybe in the future, there is a lighter costume, so they do make a Velociraptor costume. She's quite a bit lighter. She's probably about half the weight, and that would probably be the one I could stand in for more duration. But I will eventually work up that if I can. But it's been interesting. I've had to work up 10 minutes and 15 minutes and to just be able to hold all that weight and then move. And then pretty much I'm just in her hindquarters, so anything in the front of me or if anyone pets her head really pulls on that too. So it's been quite a learning experience.
Has it been a hot costume to have on?
It's very hot.
Yes.
It's all enclosed. It's light. I mean, it could be worse, but it is very hot.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Move on to items from the floor this evening. Any items from the floor?
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and everybody else. Hogfest, of course, was the end of July, and our attendance was quite down. But we wanted to say thank you to the city crew who came out and dumped the garbages for us. And then there were 3 of us that went out on Tuesday and spent 4 hours picking up cigarette butts, and there's broken something that the lawnmower had gone over, and we cleaned all that up, and we policed the area like we do every year. And but their attendance was down. Last year we fed 701 people. This year we did 190, maybe 200 at the max. So our attendance was way down, but everybody had a good time. I had to call the police because they thought a key was stolen, and come to find out it fell out of somebody's pocket. And they found it because somebody called somebody, and somebody called somebody, and somebody went out and got it. So it was really a very uneventful Hogfest. It was awesome. Awesome. If it just had been a little cooler, it would have been really super duper nice. But we're hoping the governor will come next year again. And but we'll be back. And our president, Alan Dyke, has stepped down. Our vice president, assigned vice president, Mike Everhart, he stepped down. The Casper events coordinator, Amanda Sanchez, stepped down. And Cujo stepped down. And Lisa Wingham, which was our secretary, and her significant other, which is Sean Ellsbury, they have been promoted in their jobs. And so they're gone all the time. And so they couldn't devote the time to abate. So they have also stepped down. So there were 6 people that stepped down. But we're meeting this Sunday, and we're going to revamp. And there's lots of people that are excited now. And we're moving on. So we thank you for your support, and we'll be back next year. I've already talked to this beautiful lady here, and we are set for next year. So thank you very much. We
Sharon,
appreciate it.
Why did you think your attendance was down? Was there any particular reason? Were other events or something?
No, I think it was the controversy that was going on with Abate was part of it, played a big part. Some people don't want to come to a crap show, and they thought there was going to be all kinds of fighting, and it wasn't. It was a very, very wonderful, peaceful weekend. And then, too, the economy. We had a hard time selling tickets this year. Normally we sell 750 tickets and have no problem, but this year we did not get to do that. So we're hoping that next year will be better advertisement. We're going to start early. We're going to sell tickets earlier, and we're just moving on.
Well,
So
thank
we're
you for-
revamping now, and so I don't know who the new officers will be, but in November I'm going to step down as treasurer because I don't want to have a stroke.
Well, thank you for your cleanup effort out there, too.
Oh, yeah, it was. Then I took them all over to the Classic, and the food there was good, you guys. We went over and had lunch, and it was good, really good. So, but I just want to thank you for all the town give us in making sure the garbage was taken care of, and the officers doing a walkthrough. That is a city park, and it's wonderful. They're welcome to come anytime, and we thank them. Thank you, Colter. But anyway, thank you again.
Thank you. Any other items from the floor this evening?
Well, I'm here kind of on a dual purpose today. First of all, I want to inform you that the Deer Creek Museum had their barn dance and pie auction a couple weeks ago, and it was a hit. It was, I mean, I hate to say it, but we know how to party. We really know how to party. The pie auction brought us in $400, $500, $600, $700, back and forth with the meal and everything like that. Our band was Byron and Nancy. They come from Florida, and they are simply amazing. And we had a great time. We did feed more. We figured about 50 people, which was up from 30 last year, and it was just a lot of fun. The money that we collect there just goes to help support the museum, and I know we're supported by the town, and we want to do our share and put that all in. And one thing that I want you all to just kind of keep in the back of your mind, the Wyoming Historical Society every year does a trek. Somewhere in Wyoming, they do a 2 or 3 day trek. This next year, it will be in Converse County. So we're going to be, the museum will be helping with that. We're not sure how that's going to look yet, but we will be looking for some sites in Glenrock. And it's a big thing. It's not like 5 people. They bring buses. So we have to keep in mind, that we have to go someplace where they can accommodate the buses, and we're just not exactly sure. It's still in planning stages. But that is coming up next year, and it's about in June, I think, is when they do the trek. So when it gets closer and we have more information, I will let all of you know, because it's quite a deal. It's if you're interested in history, it's quite a deal. The other thing is our Sheep Herder Rendezvous is coming up the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August. It is basically blown up again this year. I went to State Fair Sheep Wagon Show last Saturday, and there was 23 wagons there. Most of those wagons will be progressing to our event next weekend. So we're going to start bringing wagons in the Wednesday after fair. So we have talked with Public Works, and you'll be on speed dial. But they are so good to help, so great to help with getting the water shut off so we don't get showered and all that kind of stuff, and leaving the bathrooms open all night. And it's just a really great time. We're expecting 25 wagons, maybe. We have the Dutch oven contest, which is shaping up pretty good. The dog trials are always a go, and they're always full. Charlie does such an amazing job with that. So we want to invite the police to please come and patrol that night, and I'll be in touch with you too, just to make sure that we do have people that stay in the wagons all night, but we just would like to have a drive-through. Just things. And all of you are welcome to come. Friday night we have a lamb stew dinner, and Saturday night we do a lamb dinner, and all of you are invited to come and join us in that. So if you have any questions or anything like that, just let me know, because it's a big event and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been growing every year.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a great time.
Thank you, Rita. Any other items on the floor?
I don't know if I'm in the right spot, but
yes,
this
sir.
is part of the meeting where we'll address, very good, Edith Allen, 301 South 4th Street. Here to discuss my facade grant application. I applied for the facade grant. I guess it wasn't completely within the terms of the application. I had a contractor who wanted to do the work at a very low price, and so I told him to go ahead and then crafted the application after the fact.
I know the application states it's a facade grant for the commercial. Usually it's for the businesses downtown. That you bought a building that was a office building and turned it into a home, did a very nice job. Your property looks really nice. It is over there. The fact that it's now a home and there's other houses right there in the same district as you are, and it also states that you have to apply for that before you do the work in the application. So it really doesn't fit into what the meaning is for a facade grant for something that became a home. So the council can vote on it, but it's more for a business, and for what the face of your building looks like to the street. And you've done a really nice job. Your building looks very nice. But so that's something that the council can work at or whatever. But right now,
The property, Your Honor, is zoned
yes, so
commercial.
the other
and
two
the
houses
wording in
next
the-
to you are in the same zone that you are. Yes,
And the wording in the grant is commercial.
yes. Well, you can have homes in the commercial area of the town of Glen Rock.
Very good.
Are we going to address this now or when it comes up?
It's not on the agenda.
It's not on the
Oh, I thought
agenda.
it was. Okay.
I think we need to stick to our ordinance, what we have. I agree, nice property and nice job, but I think if we do that, we're going to open a can of worms for other things. I think we need to stick to our,
It was designed for business fronts, for front of their buildings and what they look like in our commercial area downtown. And we've spread it out because our commercial area is kind of spread from here clear to the east, so different businesses. But the facade grants are available for that.
for commercial.
And we don't get a lot of
that.
Yeah, we haven't had very many in the last few years. The last one we got was it came in like it was supposed to, was for Bobby's Classic Diner and hotel room. So it's the last one we've done.
So maybe it would be a good move if we went back and looked at these eligible applicants and defined a little more clearly, specifically what eligibility is, so we don't get into a gray area and have to try to decide.
Right.
I think that our
We can revisit it.
our wording on the application to me is not very easy to understand for what is and what isn't. So maybe we can go into that and redefine that, and maybe at that time you would like to reapply and join the circus again.
At the end of the day, it is a grant, and it's your absolute discretion who does and doesn't get it. So
Yes.
thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Edith.
Any other items from the floor? If not, we'll move on to new business. I believe the first order of new business is an application for a 24-hour malt beverage and catering permit for Bobby's Classic Diner and Motel LLC. The event is the Glen Rock Derby. It is for 9/28/24 to 9/29/24. I believe that's going to be out at South Rec.
So, Mr. Mayor, before we continue with new business, is Mr. Allen aware that if he wishes to leave now, he's presented his business and he's welcome to leave. He's welcome to stay and listen, but
Nerding out on this stuff.
Well, you might,
Appreciate
depending
you,
on what happens, you might be doing a lot of that in the near future, sir. And a lot bigger stage. So, but yes. So, is there a motion to approve this malt beverage catering permit? Or we got to make a motion before we can discuss it.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve Bobby's Classic Diner and Motel for the Glen Rock Derby, 28th through the 29th of September.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Now, any discussion?
Who's Bobby? Are we doing food too? And
She's not here tonight.
or is she doing food and
No, the catering permit
Is for
just
beer.
is doing
the beer? Okay.
24-hour malt beverage. The
I didn't-
catering is for alcohol,
Okay.
but she's just doing malt beverage.
So this is the permit that she originally had and was not put in the right name, and so we're having to redo it?
No, that was.
So that was for her license.
That was for her license. This is just now.
This is just
This
a
is
liquor permit, so she
an
can.
event that she wants to go out
Oh,
and
so for an
serve
event, okay.
for that
Yeah.
Glen Rock Derby.
For
The demolition.
Yeah, for the Derby. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next order of business is Resolution 2024-13, a resolution approving a plat for Sage Park Major Subdivision, that's a county subdivision, Converse County, Wyoming. Whereas the town of Glen Rock has received a plat for the Sage Park Major Subdivision, a county subdivision, Converse County, Wyoming. Whereas the proposed subdivision lies adjacent to the town of Glen Rock, and the town of Glen Rock is therefore required to give its approval for the proposed subdivision in accordance with Wyoming State Statute 34-12-103. Whereas the Glen Rock Planning Commission recommended approval in said subdivision at their August 6, 2024 meeting. Whereas there is no proposed connection of water or sewer to the municipal system, now therefore be resolved by the governing body of the town of Glen Rock that pursuant to the requirement of Wyoming State Statute 34-12-103, the Glen Rock Town Council grants approval for the proposed replat of the Sage Park Major Subdivision, Converse County, Wyoming, passed and approved the 12th day of August 2024. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve this replat of the Sage Park Major Subdivision.
The motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, will this replat have any effect upon the people already owning land up there?
All belongs to one person at this time. I think he has another partner now. I'm not positive. That still has the same breakdown of the first. I didn't remember doing a plat in the first time because they've changed the design of it 3 times. No, they've been doing some surveying's been going on up there also, and where they're working out the stuff onto the west and over the hill and down around where the laydown yards they did 4 or 5 years ago that the dust blew through town like a cloud off of it. That's all in part of that subdivision. I know they're trying to lay out some lots and stuff down in that hole back up in there. I'm really not sure how they're going to get anything done there with the amount of right at the surface or just below the surface is nothing but solid sandstone. But we'll see what they do.
What is their ultimate goal up there? Are they wanting housing up there? Are they wanting businesses up there?
That's what it was designed for, was for housing originally, but they've made larger lots and stuff out of it now, Margaret. With it being in the county, it could have some business stuff there. The 5 or 6 lots that are right there right against the town limits and right against the golf course. Those have been there since the first time. Nobody's ever. I do know that they finally drilled a well over there on the south end. They say it produces water. I don't know how much water and knowing what most water out there on wells that are drilled is very poor quality water. But I do know in the next 2 to 3 years, if town goes ahead with that, with the T3 project, which is a new transmission line from the wells out south by the mountain into town, and to a water tower for longer mixing of our chlorination out at the wells, and then one just north of the interstate for an additional water tower for the town. There will be a transmission line cross back under the highway right there and go right down that property line between them and the golf course up there to tie in over to the existing water tower over there above Indian Hills 2.
Will this have any effect at all upon our water tank that sets up there, or is everything still the same as that?
No, that's all still the same. That's a piece that was donated to the town clear back when I believe Don Kundal owned it, the access to the tower and the pipeline that comes out of there. But there'll be another easement through there when the T3 project gets done, but it shouldn't affect anything right there on the edge of the division at lots, because all subdivisions have so many feet of easement all around all lots and all plat lines for utilities and services to go through.
Would this area ever be considered to be annexed by the town, or is that way down the road to look at?
Well, it'd be down the road to look at it. You know, I'm sure they would like the water to get the sewer to work. They would have to they'd have to install a sewer system and probably several lift stations to get it over and get it into the city sewer over there, for like tying in around over up there by the golf course where that main comes up that street on Grove. It's a possibility, but to do that, they would be more under code of the town of Glenrock to tie onto the water and sewer. They would be required to annex into the town of Glenrock.
So it could be to our advantage if they were annexed in. We might have a little more control on what is done up there.
They had some very stringent building codes or building recommendations on what would be allowed and not allowed to build the first time this went through, and I don't remember all of it. It was
I know they had
kind of crazy
good rules.
Yeah, there were some rules for in the subdivision, but I don't know if that still stands. I haven't seen that part of it. So.
Interesting stuff to watch.
Mm-hmm. So there's been a motion and a second, a discussion. Any more discussion? Hearing not any, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next resolution is Resolution 2024-14, a resolution approving a designated signer in the absence of the mayor, whereas Mayor Rommel will be out of state from August 14th to September 3rd, 2024, and whereas the town of Glenrock has business to be conducted during that time that will require a designated signer on behalf of the governing body. Therefore, whereas the governing body, and now therefore it be resolved that Kelly Lewis will designated to sign on behalf of the governing body in the absence of Mayor Bruce Rommel, passed and approved and adopted the 12th day of August 2024. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 2024-14, approving designated signer for the absence of the mayor.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Part of this is because we will be the paperwork that needs to be signed for the closing for the property that we're selling to Bill Meekum. That closing will be at that time, and since Kelly's the treasurer and we'll be taking care of that, and the money that the town gets from that, I felt that she'd probably be the best to go down and take care of it and take care of it when we get the money. So,
yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Okay. This is Town of Glenrock Ordinance number 748, amendment to zoning code, an ordinance amending the Glenrock Town Code, Chapter 31, Section 31.01.040, 31.03.010, 31.03.050, 31.03.070, 31.03.090, and 31.03.080, whereas the governing body of the town of Glenrock wishes to address the issue of tiny homes and accessory dwelling units within the limits. They're now for it be ordained by the town council of the town of Glenrock and of the state of Wyoming as follows. Section 1, amending 31.01.04, definition of the town of Glenrock Municipal Code is hereby amended to as follows. I think we've all read this before, and I think I would bore you to death to read the whole thing again. 30 pages. So is there a motion? And then once we get the motions, then you can ask Lyle all the questions you would like to ask.
I move that we pass ordinance 748 as presented.
I think it's on first reading, correct?
First reading.
There has to be 3 readings on it, so.
On the first reading.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. Lyle?
Okay, so if you look at this, the very beginning of it, that's the book for. Let's go to the after section, which is on page 14 of that. Let's go to page 22 on your notebook.
But it says 14 at the bottom, right?
Yeah, but on your notebook,
Okay.
page 22, you're on page 14.
Yeah. Going to 22 goes to 14.
So if you're on that, the very first part is, the first definition is an accessory dwelling unit above 500 square foot. It's allowed in a mobile home zone as a standalone dwelling. As a standalone. Have its own entrance, full kitchen and bath, living, sleeping space, must be built to the town of specifications. That's the
Lyle, I just have a question on that real quick. Because just the way it's written, it says full kitchen / bath, which seems to indicate that that's a combo kitchen bath, not kitchen, bath.
Okay, so
And I'm wondering if we actually want to say full kitchen, bath, living, sleeping.
The sizes they're built, you never know what's going to be in the bathroom.
That's right.
And it may be, but did we want it to have a kitchen / bath or a kitchen, bath?
what do you, anybody else feel?
I don't know. What's the
It's,
attorney
this
think?
is on the first reading. If there's
Right,
enough,
yes.
First reading.
well, that some of the wording can be changed for the second and third readings.
I'll spell that out, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the next one, if you go to the next change, page 26, but that's 34 on your note.
Well, you're making that.
If you go to that little square at the top of the page.
Yeah, up here it
Just
says 30.
highlight it and then punch in 34, and you go right to it. Shows what page you're on.
I'm there.
Okay, so the next definition is a tiny home. Minimum of 200 square foot up to 500 square foot. Allowed mobile home zone as a standalone dwelling. Have its own entrance. I'll spell out full kitchen and bath.
Well, and the reason I was asking on the other one is because in this one we have a comma between living area and sleeping area, and we had a / in the other one.
Okay,
So whatever you decide.
that works.
It actually looks like a period.
And it must be built to the town specifications.
I can't see it that close.
Right underneath that is a tiny home ADU village. So a planned development approved through the Planning and Zoning Commission consisting of 4 or more tiny homes or ADUs. So that's the definition, and then below it says allowed in mobile home and general business zones approved through Planning and Zoning. So that's just the definition. So if we're good with that,
I think you did a good job of writing these up, Lyle. I know this was a struggle.
well, just to get us to this point is, we talked about it this morning, and part of this is the process of work, because we brought it to you first time, you didn't like it, it went back, now it's going to come back to you again in the future, and we can discuss it. So it's a process, it's a little bit tough, but it's the process. So now if you go to page 38 on your notebook, that takes you to the after amendment. And that is for the mobile home residence. So under permitted uses, we're adding the accessory dwelling unit, tiny home, maximum of 2 units if the 40% rule allows. And then the 40% rule spelled out, maximum of 40% of the lot can be occupied by a structure.
Right.
On number 9, you're saying a tiny home village or an ADU village can be put into a mobile home district. That's pretty standard. Now if you go to page 39, next page, punch that in. Bottom of the page, it's general business. So that's the start of it. Now, if you go to page 41, books, now you're at the after. So you guys requested this on line 3, the animal clinic gets scratched. Line 12, the dairy commercial gets scratched, and it says commercial dairy processing plant, no animals on site. So that clarified that. And then at the very bottom, we're adding a tiny home village area. So it's what we discussed. We left RVs out of this until we go through planning and zoning, and I'll come back to you.
Do you have a definition of what number 17 actually is, a kennel commercial
I don't.
actually stands for? Is that a kennel for what?
Might be in the so I did talking to Margaret this morning. She had a few concerns as well. So in the code, it says part of my job is to come back to you guys once a year with general code changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put, if that's one that's on your list.
I just wondered if there was anything else that gave you any insight to what actually kennel commercial stood for.
There is a definition of kennel. It doesn't say commercial, but it says any premises wherein any person engages in the business of boarding, breeding, buying, letting for hire, training for a fee, or selling of animals. It is illegal to maintain a kennel contrary to the terms of this code without a license if required, or in a zone or location in which a kennel is not permitted.
Cats, dogs, horses, cows, goats.
It does not specify in the definition.
The animal.
There you go. There is a definition.
I'll put that on the list.
No, just
We'll come back
just
to
something,
next work
food for thought. Wow.
session, and we'll have, there's a few on that list.
Domestic animals, please.
So we'll put that on the list. And if you have any questions,
Okay, is there any other changes, or is that it?
Good job, Ben.
Now that we've been through that, is there any other discussion?
This is not easy to do.
No?
Takes a lot of thinking and
honestly, Danny, and we went back and forth, and she helped me a lot, so it was joint effort with that.
And we could probably spend the next 10 years hicking and hacking over little hacks there and be no better off than we were tonight.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, I will call for a vote for the first reading. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries on for first reading. I believe that brings us to our last order of business, which is bills and claims. Is there a motion to pay our bills and claims?
I move we pay our bills and claims. Got to do it.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay. You guys, I know that it came in an email, but I think it's at the bottom that we added the payments. There was 3 payments, scheduled payments or pay orders for Andrew Hunt and 1 for Knife River.
Yeah, those are the ones that she added.
Yeah, she added that. They're pretty good size, but it's normal ones that should be being paid out for where they're done in the work in the spot. So, is there any questions or comments on
Just
bills and claims?
a quick question, Bruce. Are they pretty much on task with this road project to get it done?
Very much on task. I would say that probably close to the end of September, they will be totally done with the 2nd Street project. And I believe not long after that, depending on what the weather does, that Knife River and them are very much on course of being done and completed in this construction season also. So they're both working very hard at it and getting things taken care of with too much conflict. The 2nd Street project took in an additional amount of money we added this fiscal year for all the bad sidewalks, especially where that was behind the parkways. And you can see what that's doing for what it looks down through there. Replacing sidewalk really looks better, and we don't have all the trip hazards along through there. It was very bad. Yeah, that sidewalk.
It looks really nice. That's a really nice looking sidewalk down through there.
They're doing a really nice job. Should be very shortly. You'll see the Rotomill machine here they'll do the patchwork of where they've dug their ditches, and then the rotomill machine will be in to totally rotomill the whole street. Then they will have to block part of Birch Street to rotomill the spot where we had to dig a hole in the middle of Birch, just off the hill down by First Street. They have to rotomill that down 3 inches and cover it with asphalt. So according to the DEQ, the concrete is done really well, but they want 3 inches of asphalt on top of it.
How long will that take?
The rotomilling will take them probably just a couple days. They'll be done.
And then pave it immediately?
Then right after that, they will start paving, yes.
So hopefully within a week, that whole process can be taken care of.
They will rotomill down all what is supposed to be there, and I think when they're doing the first patch job, they will come running around, and Andrina will be patching all the other holes where we've had to dig holes around town and take care of a few of our realignment holes we've been getting complaints about for quite some time. There's some patches in some streets down.
There's some up on Sunup, right?
Yeah, there's Sunup ones, and there's Platt Street, and numerous places that we have some holes that need repaired. So some on Fourth, so that'll all get taken care of at the same time. So if there's no other questions or anything on bills and claims, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Does somebody have the signature page for that?
I do.
Okay, before everybody leaves, but if there's nothing else from council or the audience to bring forth before this council meeting, I would make sure nobody's getting up. I tried to close it too soon before. If there's no other business to come before the council tonight, I would have somebody entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn our council meeting.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed by nay. Motion carries.
Let's go fishing, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor and council, if you think his house is pretty on the outside, you ought to see the
Well, I've seen it. I've had the tour, and that turned out amazing what he's done inside.
Doesn't look
It's a
like it did
beautiful
before.
home.
Doesn't look like it did before.
What a change.
Hey, Lon.